Never thirsty. Never thirsty. How was it like Canadian radio must be different from American radio. You must have had some type of difference.
Oh, big time. Are you kidding me? It's like, first of all, there's a law here that they have to play a certain percentage of the radio has to be Canadian.
Our producer's calling me.
Oh, okay.
So I have to take this call.
Sure.
Oh, no, he hung up.
Oh.
I wonder what that was about. I need to speak to my. Let me go check my.
We do have a guest. We do have a guest that we should speak of, and his name is his name is Paul Stewart. He is a legend in industry. Oh, he's here. He's an industry legend, and he's somebody that can shed some light onto this stuff because he was around and in the mix, literally, like he was in play. He was in the front line in the battlefield when hip hop was sort of fighting its way onto commercial radio, and some of the biggest successes in the history of the genre. He was right there, and hopefully we'll get some good stories out of him. But just waiting for him to join us momentarily here. And there, we'll speak of the devil. How you doing, man?
What's happening?
How are you, Paul?
What's going on?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for asking.
It's great to meet you, man.
Beautiful barrio of Zona Colonial in Santo Domingo and the wonderful island of the Dominican Republic. So life is beautiful. And thanks for having me on the podcast.
Oh, no problem, man. We were just talking about like the era of hip hop, like sort of when it started exploding and crossing into like pop radio, right? And there was, we were talking specifically how like there was a time on the chart where like Two Live Crew and Richard Marx were like both charting. It's like, there was a door that was kicked open, and a guy like you were in the front lines. You were there, and Coolio, and I mean, listen, all these big hits that became monster hits. How was that a tough battle? Like, did you have to convince somebody at some point? Were you like, "See, I told you"? Like,
well, yeah, I mean, it was all that. Hold on a second. Amor, turn down the volume. Menos. It was. I mean, when I started getting into hip hop initially, DJing and stuff, there was barely any music on the radio in California. I mean, we had K-Day early on, which was an all rap station, which was really unique. But outside of that, there was no rap on the radio. And then it would be like little shows, little this, and then yeah, some records, like one of the records I was involved in, which was Gangsta's Paradise with Coolio, was a breakthrough record. Though a lot of the breakthroughs had happened a little bit before I was actually in the industry as like a manager. It was more when I was coming up as a DJ and stuff, But that record was like international a hit. And we went to countries where like every song in their top 20 was in their language except Gangsta's Paradise. It was like, people didn't even speak English, but they knew all the words, But
I mean, Gangsta's Paradise went from, listen, you had hits that you mentioned, you got like the Humpty Hump and Rump Shaker. You had like, rap songs, but Gangsta's Paradise is like Grammy Awards and Oscars, and it's a much bigger thing.
Yeah. No, but okay, back to your question, your initial thought though. Yeah, I mean, there was a time where it was a struggle to get any music on the radio. And I mean, people made clean versions of stuff like Luke. If they're playing a Luke record, it was a clean version or whatever, And slowly, at first it was maybe like there might be a mix show in big markets where they played a little hip hop and maybe that's it. You know what I mean? On like the urban R&B station or whatever. And then slowly it just started to get on, then on the pop stations. And then it was a real struggle. Yeah. At first people were like definitely not messing with it, and records be blowing up on the streets and radio's just like not paying attention. New York had a more vibrant radio scene, so their thing was different. We had K-Day, and K-Day got us through until the era when big stations were playing it. You know what I mean? But other markets, tough.
But you know what? I think, interestingly enough, like, yes, New York is like the birthplace of it all, right? Everybody, East Coast, great. I mean, we all know that. But I'm here to sort of maybe offer her something that, if West Coast doesn't happen, then this, all the really big commercial successful stuff, a lot of it stems from Dre and Snoop and Warren G and Coolio, like all that stuff blowing up.
Never thirsty.